Buzlige Yoinim. Let's give some tzedakah together with our tefillos. All of us together, Achdus, unity, especially in these days of Ben Hamtzorim, where we know that the reason for the destruction of the temple was the lack of Jewish unity. So we need to unify, but a unity which is based on truth, which is Torah. Torah Semes. Talking about Torah Semes, talking about unity, there's no greater and more powerful unifying factor than the Beis Hamikdash, than the Holy Temple. We spoke about the different entrances yesterday. So today I would like to focus on an interesting story where the Talmud in Yuma, Meseches Yuma on page 37, continued on page 38, where the Gemara tells the story about a particular gate that was named Nikonor. What's the story? So then the Gemara discusses about the different individuals who did some positive things for the Beis Hamikdash, who were benefactors to the Beis Hamikdash. And then there is also mention of those who were the detractors. Among those benefactors who contributed in a favorable way was Nikonor. And the Gemara says like this: there were special miracles that happened to these doors. Ma nasu ledal tzoisov, as the Gemara. What happened to these doors? So the Gemara says like this: Kishaholach Nikonor lahavidal says Alexandria shel Mitzrayim. In Alexandria of Egypt, there were special craftsmen. They were exceptionally gifted in creating beautiful doors. So this individual, Nikonor, decided he's going to commission those craftsmen from Alexandria and bring the doors from there. And these doors were made out of heavy copper. He had to bring them over sea. Fortunately, what happened while on the boat with those two big gates, the sea became very stormy, and the passengers figured that the heavy weight of these doors is what is endangering them. So they took one of those two doors and they threw it overboard. But unfortunately, says the Gemara, the sea still did not quiet down. So now they're ready to throw out the second door. Nikonor got over, and he says, if you throw out the door, throw me along with it. So when he expressed himself that I'm going along with the door, immediately miyad nachayam mizapoy, the ocean calmed down, and he was very distraught by the fact that the other door was thrown out. He's coming now with one door. What are you going to do with one door? Miraculously, when they arrived to land, and then they realized in the port of Akko, they realized that from the water underneath the ship, that door is bubbling. Miraculously, the door swam along the entire journey all the way to Akko. Another opinion says that actually a huge fish swallowed it, must have been some big fish, and brought it all the way to Akko, and they threw it out. So these were the miracles that happened with these gates, and therefore it was called after him, Shar Nikonor, the gate of Nikonor. But listen what the Gemara says further. Eventually, when the financial situation of the Jewish community improved, they changed then the doors, all the doors of the temple, from wooden doors to gold doors, except for these two gates. Of those, they were copper, and the gold is obviously much more valuable and more beautiful. And we have a godly commandment, Zeh Keli Vanveo, when we do a mitzvah, do it in the most magnificent way possible, to the point that the Gemara says that whoever didn't see the beauty of the Beis Hamikdash, the architecture and everything else, hasn't seen Binyan before. There's a mitzvah to do things beautiful. You buy a pair of tefillin, buy the most beautiful one. You buy Shabbos candlesticks, buy the most beautiful one. Obviously what you can afford, but try to beautify the mitzvahs. Nevertheless, these doors were not changed. And the Gemara says that amazingly, the copper doors were as beautiful and they shined as beautiful as the other gold doors. The Jerusalemite Talmud says, not only were they as shiny as beautiful, they were even nicer than the ones in the golden doors. All this to tell us, a person does a mitzvah with devotion, God appreciates it, and it's mentioned, and it's remembered. So Eibishter, we're all ready to put the most beautiful doors. Just give us the Beis HaMikdash.